Hello, it's me, Funk, the video gamer. I'm gonna be the 25th person to talk about competitive matchmaking this year. After all, I do only play pubs. I'm afraid of doing competitive. I've never done it in my life, but I'm pretty sure I'm in a good position to say that TF2 is dead, and competitive matchmaking is not gonna do that much. Is what pretty much every person that would ever talk about it would tell you. I'm not saying I'm in any position to talk about it because I'm in low open being crushed by high open teams, and I did silver heavy, and pretty much every team I've been on has disbanded after like the 5th week. But that's beside the point. This is kind of a more abstract concept, a video that I wanted to kind of ramble about a bit more, but it's not going to be like an actual ramble because I have like an idea that I want to talk about, which is going to be, competitive matchmaking. It could come out at any time, but what if, like, the creation of matchmaking would spark a renaissance of sorts in TF2. Again, so if you don't know what a renaissance is, think back to like the 17th century Europe when like everyone was learning to read, write, there was great art being created, science was boosting, and everyone was so smart and everything was awesome. So why would competitive matchmaking surge TF2 into this new generation of stuff going on? So, as of now, if a new player picks up this game, Team Fortress 2, they just installed Steam. They got to get a game. They're going to go to the free section cuz who doesn't like free stuff? What's the first thing they're going to see at the top of that list? Team Fortress 2. It's what pretty much everyone flocks to if they've never played a Steam game before. And that's really good for TF2, but the issue is these people will pick up the game, jump into a pub, and after like 15-20 minutes of playing as that heavy that like doesn't know how doors work, or like sits at spawn with a brass beast, this is pretty fitting footage right here, they'll leave after that 20 minutes because whatever, the game was fun, but there's not really a progression system. The only implemented progression system in Team Fortress 2 as of this video is the ability to customize your character. Oh, well, Funk, you can get new weapons. They can get new weapons, but ultimately, that's not a form of character progression. That's just expanding your library of what the character can use. And if you're like me, that's awesome because you get these new weapons you get to try out, and I think that's great. But when you're a new player, that's not really going to hook you onto the game. And neither will hats because they're such an intangible concept. You already have to pay $5 to even, get hats and craft and trade. I think you can craft, but like trade and do all of this absurd stuff, and you're not even introduced to the system yet, so why are you gonna bother? And that's where a lot of new players will just leave. If you look at any new update, you'll notice it boosts the numbers of TF2 up thousands, but then like 3 days later the numbers are gone. Why? Because players have to pay to get into these new contracts and all these new hats. It's great for like the people that can pay, but what do I care if I'm not in it for the money? So that's where competitive comes in. Maybe you have to buy a ticket to even get into competitive, but that's not a big deal because it's an actual progression system. You'll be able to boost your rank. Supposedly, if it would to follow the footsteps of CS:GO, then you could like show like, yeah, I'm an Australium Nova 3. Don't want to brag or anything. You could put it next to like the stamp on the scoreboard where like tough break and stuff is. And that would be where the progression comes from, because you get these fair balanced games where you can jump in sixes and you can play your main and you can fight. And that's what's going to hook new players to actually play it. I have like a ringing in my ear. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause it so I can get this ringing out of my ear. Okay, the ringing's on and I'm back. So what was I talking about? I was talking about the hook that'll keep people playing this game. That's what you want in your game. You want people to play it and be like, oh, well, I gotta keep playing so I can prove my worth and get better, and I can show people that I've gotten better. And that's getting back to the main question. How would that spark a TF2 Renaissance? How would that make how is Renaissance even a good word, right? Because, like, what does that mean? Okay, well, when I refer to Renaissance, I mean you have all of these new players, the second generation of TF2, the first generation being the free-to-play update, Everyone comes in, they play the game. Some of them stay, some of them don't. That's just how it works. This is going to be the second generation, when TF2 matchmaking comes out, you're going to have thousands of new people coming into this game. They're going to be watching videos, they're going to be creating art, they're going to be animating the characters, they're going to be making hot, sexy XXX fanfiction. Those are new people playing the game with all of their own unique potential, bringing it with them. If maybe they made art for a different game, what if they get into TF2 and they really like competitive? So, or maybe they just really like where the game is going once competitive's out. They might not even play competitive. That'll be the second generation of sorts. These are all these new players. Now, one of the good things as a YouTuber in terms of this regard is all of these new people coming to look up TF2 content. They're getting into the game. They want to learn to get better. Not that watching any of my videos will teach you to get better, mind you, but you'll probably be looking up content on Team Fortress 2, and that's going to be a bit of a surge for me. Same thing with pretty much any other platform. People are going to be looking up art. They're going to be looking up guides. They're going to be looking up tutorials, sections, anything. Anything your heart desires will be there. There will be more people buying items. You know, if you got weapons, you got like websites like scrap.tf, backpack.tf. All these websites are going to be getting more traffic because they're new players that want to pick up all the newest, hottest stuff. And that's going to be a new surge into the economy, and all these new people making items, doing stuff, and it's great. But that's not it. It doesn't end there, because that's already a bit of a stretch, right? Like, well, just because there's competitive doesn't mean all this stuff's gonna happen, right? I don't even play competitive, so it's not a big deal to me. It's not like I'm gonna be doing matchmaking. That's true, but think about this. Sorry, I'm bad with words. Think about the side effects that would come with matchmaking. Maybe you're never going to touch competitive in your life. Maybe you're just going to be continuing to play pubs. That's fine. That's your choice. But if competitive does come, and it makes this huge market of people who do want to progress and play competitive, even if you're not in that domain, demographic, I think would be the better word, all this new attention to TF2 is going to give Valve more reason to update it, add new stuff. Maybe it's going to be primarily competitive based, but I guarantee you it's going to have some sort of side effect, subverse side of... Why am I so bad at words? It's going to impact normal gameplay for anybody else too. There are going to be weapon rebalances. The game might even be optimized more because there are going to be more people playing it. There's more reason to optimize this game. I'm not saying we're going to get a complete overhaul for Source 2, but it's more than possible that they can go back and like redo tons of existing stuff from the ground up and just mess with the framework of the game. I'm not really a developer. I can't talk from a stance of someone who would understand how easy it is, because it's definitely not easy. You can tell by where we are now. If Valve could have it perfect, they would, but they don't, and there's not much incentive to do that when there's so much other stuff to be done, like competitive. Getting this game, it's 8 years old, and yet somehow it still needs to be taken off the ground again, which is the issue, which is what Valve is working to fix. And I hope everyone is like excited for this, because I think the release of competitive will give this game... I'm talking really fast. I need to slow down. I think competitive will give this game the push it needs back into relevancy. Not that it ever fell out of relevancy, mind you. My YouTube channel would never have grown if it was out of relevancy. But I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Let's just get back to like the point of this all. This is a very good thing for Team Fortress 2. It works for everybody. There will be new weapon balances because they will have statistics to work off of. While it's true it might be primarily based off sixes, and that's a little biased, especially towards pubs, where the sixes meta and how things work don't really apply, it will definitely still bring more to the table, you know? And maybe for the better, pubs will be kind of diluted out a little bit more in favor of these more balanced games. Because for the longest time, TF2 was known as it's the game where you can jump into a Koth lakeside and just play with stupid loadouts and do whatever. And it'll still be that after competitive. But there's going to be so much more to offer from the game after this thing comes out. That's pretty much everything I wanted to mention. I just kind of wanted to get it off the table that I'm pretty freaking hype for this thing. The thing is, I don't like talking about stuff everyone else has talked about. And as of the making of this video, I saw like 3 other people make videos on it. But again, most of the people talking about it don't really know what they're saying about the game. No offense to anybody that has, but most of them are just like, oh, you know, TF2 is gonna be the same. I don't really care. Competitive's going to save the game. It's gonna be great. It's like, alright, I don't know where you're getting those facts from. I'm not saying it's gonna save the game. Well, I guess that is what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's gonna save the game. Alright, that's probably not the lesson I want to leave you here with. The lesson I want to leave you here with is be ready, be steady, because something's coming. I feel it on the horizon. There's also a bunch of hints dropping that it would come out maybe like next week or this week. Probably not going to come out for good, but some sort of open or closed beta or whatever. Something's going to happen. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll be like another 3 months before anything happens. Sorry, I feel like I need to burp. It's going to be... I just watched that engineer burn to death. Actually, shit. I cut the audio, so it's not even gonna show up on time. Alright, so later in this video, an engineer's just gonna die running from his sentry, and it's gonna be super funny. So that's your heads up. Sorry I spoiled it. Sorry for spoiling the video, I just wanted you to know that. Anyways, yeah, this, so that was a pretty good talk, I think. Talking a bit about, everything that I expect coming from TF2 coming forward. Like I said, the main, biggest, coolest thing, at least for me, is there'll be tons of new people coming in wanting to learn stuff about TF2. What the hell? I think I stopped using my keyboard for so long, both of my monitors turned off. I was confused there. Back to what I was saying. There's going to be a lot of people coming to see, you know, what's going on with TF2. There's this big hullabaloo about, like, oh, you can't really make that many videos on TF2. It's been done before. Star has like 500 videos. He did, but he hasn't made videos in like a year. And you have no idea how quickly that becomes irrelevant. Because there are videos on every set in this game, but they're outdated now. Things have changed, and it's not covered. I don't want to be the guy that has to cover all of that, but I definitely like talking about this game. If you haven't noticed by my large collection of videos about it, that I don't mind this game. I play it a little too much, some would say. Some would say I consider it a job, which is really weird to think because, like, 2 years ago, it was just a game I liked to pub on, and I would watch people play it, and I'm like, golly gee, I sure wish I was them. Yeah, that's everything that I wanted to mention to you. Have a good day. Maybe go hop into competitive and get yourself a taste of what's to come. Or maybe you'll just keep playing pubs and nothing's gonna change at all. All that really matters is expect great things from this game in the future. I ran out of footage to talk over, so that's the end of it for me. Bye.